Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And it's day 3, the final part of the little old woman who lived in a shoe.
Yes.
And she had so many children, she didn't know what to do.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of the nursery rhyme, but the story has been a little bit different. The woman lived in a home with her many children. Her husband also lived with her.
Yes.
The nursery rhyme doesn't talk about a husband.
No, and also we didn't even know how many kids. I think we still don't really know. We know that there are 12 brothers,
boys. That's
but
right.
there could be some sisters in there. They haven't said anything. But,
exactly, yeah. And at the beginning of the story, she lived in a house, not a shoe, but a giant came along, ruined her house, stole away her husband, and took him to his castle. And so that's how the woman got into the shoe with her children. And then the children, a few years later, they decided to go and rescue, to save their father. And it worked.
And it worked. They got up there. They saw a big guard dragon. They defeated the dragon. They went in and freed their father. He was just in there behind the guard dragon, and they got him.
They got him. They got him free. But at the same time as they were saving their father, an old witch came to the old woman's house, came to the shoe, and said she would help the woman.
Yes.
But witches... Often in stories like this, I mean, a witch tried to poison Snow White.
Oh, yeah.
A witch cursed Cinderella. I'm not sure it's a witch in the candy house who tried to eat Hansel and Gretel, but kind of like that. Witches are not usually your friends.
Yes, so hopefully she's really going to help the little old woman because that woman has been through a lot.
That is very
let's
true.
Hope good things are coming.
And there are good witches in some stories, just not many. But maybe this is another story with a good witch, or she could just be evil. Let's find out. The witch wished to kill the giant, so she flew the old woman to his castle on her broom. There, the witch found the giant asleep and put a cruel spell on his feet. All right, so the little old woman who lived in a shoe, and now she has a witch as a guest in her little old shoe home. Let's find out what this witch wants with our old woman hero. The witch wished to kill the giant. Okay, that's a good witch.
Yeah.
I mean, she
at least on the same side.
She's thinking about killing things, which isn't so good, but she's thinking about killing monsters, giants. So I guess she's a good witch. So she flew the old woman to his castle on her broom. Okay, I guess this is also nice. This witch showed up, said, I also hate that giant. I want to get him too, just like you do. Hop on my broom and we will fly off to the castle to get the giant. This is what the witch wished. When you wish for something, it's kind of like when you hope for something. You want something to happen in the future, but wishing is a little bit more like just wanting good luck. You don't really think you have any control. You can't do something to help this happen. So it's like praying or just sending out what you want into the universe. Maybe God will help you. Maybe fortune will help you. You wish for things that you really want to happen, but you don't have a way of doing it yourself. You're just hoping it will happen.
Yes, and in kind of Western cultures, a lot of times we wish upon stars. We'll look at the stars and say, wish to the stars.
Exactly.
So different cultures might wish two different things, like gods or things like that.
But you're always wanting kind of a dream to come true.
Yes, and so in this kind of realm of, you know, maybe not so real things, we've got a broom that flies.
Sure.
Because we all know the word broom. Broom is a noun, and that is the tool that you use to sweep and it's just a stick with some bristles at the end to kind of sweep up the ground. And that is not something that can fly, but in the kind of magical area that we are in stories.
At Hogwarts?
Oh, yes, at Hogwarts we see that a lot in Harry Potter. We also just see it almost always associated or connected to witches because witches usually carry a broom and that broom can fly. And that's how they travel around.
There you go.
So broom for us is a sweeping tool to do chores. A broom for a witch is like their car.
It's like an airplane.
Yeah, or like an airplane. That's a better example. And so now let's see. Now they've gone to where the giant is. And if we keep reading, we see there the witch found the giant asleep and put a cruel spell on his feet.
On his feet?
Yeah, his feet. So not just a spell on him, very specific to his feet.
So the witch can use magic. She can cast spells like Harry Potter or Gandalf. And she put a cruel spell. That's good. A cruel spell. I'm going to get you with my cruel spell, but I'll get your feet.
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea what a cruel spell on a person's feet would be like. We'll find out later. But we know it's going to be bad. We know it might hurt. We know it might be evil and mean and nasty because we're using the adjective cruel. When you are cruel, you are hurting someone just because you want to. So you say something mean to your friend just to make their feelings hurt, to make them sad. It's not a nice thing to do. I mean, you might do it with your brothers and sisters, with your friends, if you know someone really well, but it might still hurt their feelings. It might still ruin your friendship. And of course, if you do something cruel just to other people normally, you're a bad person. This is not a nice thing to do. And I mean, you could go to jail or something if you're cruel to people, cruel to animals. That can be a crime. So, don't be cruel. Be kind. Be nice. Be gentle. These are better things to be. But if you're a witch and there's a giant and he's got big feet, okay, be cruel. Let's take a break and then we'll be back. That woke the giant. He couldn't stand the pain, so he went looking for his missing shoe. When he found it, he pushed his foot in. Then the old woman and her family arrived. The brothers attacked and killed the giant. After that, the old woman and her family built a new house and lived happily. And she shoots her magic power at his feet. Why not just him? Why not his eyes to make him so he can't see them or something?
All of those may have been a better idea.
Okay.
But as we saw already in this story, there's a lot that has to do with the giant's feet.
True.
Since we already had the shoe.
That's right. And he might only have one shoe now. Because he lost a shoe. That's the one the woman is living. Let's find out what the witch's plan is. She might have a really good plan.
Yes, and so we continue reading and we see that, meaning that spell, casting that spell on the giant's feet, that woke the giant.
Okay.
He couldn't stand the pain. So he went looking for his missing shoe.
Aha!
See? Okay, so you were kind of right where he only has one shoe, but now his other foot is so painful he can't even walk, so he needs to go find his other shoe.
Gotcha.
And in this sentence, we see the word stand as a verb, but we use it as to not be able to stand something. That means you cannot handle something. For example, for me, I cannot stand the smell of stinky tofu. I will not go near it. I will not go to the night markets anymore if I have to be around that because I cannot stand the smell.
So if your husband or someone brings it to your house,
he is not allowed to bring it in the house.
Eat it outside, even if you're in another room, just a little bit of that smell. Oh, it's terrible. And of course, you know, certain people can't stand noise if they're trying to read, or you might not be able to stand the way someone is being mean to you, right? So you're going to leave that person and go away or whatever because you can't live with it. You can't accept it. It's too much for you, like the smell of stinky tofu. All right, so the giant goes looking for his missing shoe, and of course, he finds it. It's not far. It's near his castle, and then we read, when he found it, he pushed his foot in. I hope the kids are not home.
Well, they must still be at the castle, right?
Oh, I see. They went with the mother.
Yeah,
okay, or they went to save the father.
They must all still be out, hopefully.
Okay, well, it seems the giant is now wearing his shoe.
Yes.
Remember, this shoe was also the old woman's house.
Yes.
But anyways, he's put the shoe on. He's put the shoe on his foot, or as you do when you put on a shoe, he pushed his foot into it.
Yes, and so push is a verb, and a lot of times we see this word when we say you push someone, and so that means to kind of like use force to make them move. And in this case, it is similar. You are using the force of your leg to put your foot into the shoe. So you can push your way into the shoe. You might push your way through a crowd. You're not literally pushing people. You don't want to hurt anybody, but you need to use force to go to wherever you need to be. So we can use this push in other ways as far as kind of pushing force into somewhere. And you might push through a doorway or push your foot into a shoe. Or anything like that. You can use this word push in that way. And it doesn't have to be just pushing somebody over.
No, definitely not. And I guess if he takes the shoe off, we can use the opposite, pull, right?
Yes.
To pull is to bring it towards you. To push is to move it away from you or go in.
Yes.
Pull is to come back out. And then what happened?
Well, then the old woman and her family arrived. So he went back to the shoe, put his foot in the shoe, and then all of a sudden the whole family shows up.
I see. This could be the final fight between the family, the father, maybe the mother's there with the witch. They have all arrived. When people arrive, they get to the place that they were going to, all right? After you leave your home, you might get on a bus or on a train or in a car, and then you travel for a bit, and then you get to that place you're going to, school, work, the department store. You have arrived at that place. And also, if you're standing there waiting for people, maybe someone is coming to meet you, or you're at the airport and someone is flying to see you, they will arrive at a certain place at a certain time. They will end their journey. They will be there after their travel. So they've all gathered there. They're there. The brothers have their weapons. Let's get the fight going.
Yes, and so we read, the brothers attacked and killed the giant. So they did it.
Wow, just like that.
Just like
that. I guess there are 12 brothers, right?
Yeah.
The father's there too. That's just too many enemies for the giant to fight. So
and they had just practiced with the guard dragon.
That's true.
So
they had already fought the guard dragon.
Yes, and so we continue reading and we read, after that, the old woman and her family built a new house and lived happily.
Okay.
Yes. So no more shoes. They decided we need a real house again.
Question.
Okay.
Why didn't they just move into the giant's castle?
Ooh, you know what? Here's my real-time thinking on this.
Yes.
Because everything would have been too big.
Oh.
because the bed would have been, they would have had to make a, build a whole huge ladder just to get up there to sleep.
They can't cut things in the kitchen. It's too bad. They would fall into the toilet.
Yeah.
That would be very dangerous. Okay, I'm glad they didn't do that. And maybe they found a nice giant to move in and to be their guard.
A good neighbor.
There you go. All right, guys, thanks for joining us with this crazy adventure of the old woman, the shoe, and all the other characters we didn't know about. It's been a fun time spending time with you, and we look forward to seeing you back here soon. Until then, avoid giants, be nice to witches, and don't move into shoes.
Yeah, maybe not.
Right, because the giants might come back. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
The witch wished to kill the giant, so she flew the old woman to his castle on her broom. There, the witch found the giant asleep and put a cruel spell on his feet. That woke the giant. He couldn't stand the pain, so he went looking for his missing shoe. When he found it, he pushed his foot in. Then the old woman and her family arrived. The brothers attacked and killed the giant. After that, the old woman and her family built a new house and lived happily.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 cruel 形容词，恶毒的、残酷的。It's cruel to make fun of someone's weight. 拿人体重开玩笑是很恶毒的一件事。下一个单字 stand 动词，忍受、承受。它的三态是 stand, stood. I can't stand the cold of winter in Finland. 我受不了芬兰冬天的寒冷。下一个单字 push 动词，把什么东西塞进。I pushed the box into the hole. 我把那个盒子塞进洞里。最后一个单字 arrive 动词，抵达、到达。We will arrive in London tomorrow morning. 我们明天早上会抵达伦敦。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 somebody wishes to 加动词，某人想要、渴望做某件事情。我们来看看这个例句 I wish to study abroad next year. 我渴望明年能出国念书。下一个文法 A flies B to C. A 带 B 飞去 C。Fly 在这里是一个及物动词，表示带什么人、什么东西飞越、飞往哪里。我们来看看这个例句。Debbie flew her children to their new home in Japan. Debbie 带着她的孩子们搭机飞往他们在日本的新家。最后一个文法 put a spell on 加名词，对什么人、什么东西施咒语。Spell 指的是咒语、魔咒。我们来看看这个例句。The witch put a spell on the man. 那位女巫对这个男人施了一个咒语。Witch 就是女巫。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
Hello, I'm Matt.
I'm Carolyn.
Today we're playing Guess the Bear. We each have 3 cards with 2 example sentences on them, and in the example sentence, the vocabulary words or phrases are replaced with the word bear. We'll each have 1 minute to see if we can guess all 3 words or phrases. So, Carolyn, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute on the clock. Let's begin. Okay. Your first one is an adjective.
Okay.
The story is about a bear king who was terrible to his subjects. In a bear twist of fate, they died on the same day.
Ooh, I thought I had it, but... First one again?
The story is about a bear king who was terrible to his subjects.
Next one.
Okay.
Let's pass.
This next one's a verb, 1 word. I can't bear that type of music. It's awful. He tried to be patient, but he couldn't bear her non-stop talking.
Bear? The other one?
Not quite. It does sound like that. You're right, yes.
Stand?
Yes.
Okay.
Your next one is a 2-word phrase.
Okay.
The company bared their employees bear the conference. I bared my sister Bear Jamaica for her birthday.
Treat to?
second word again is correct, but the first one. So there was flies to.
Oh.
The company flies their employees to the conference. And I flew my sister to Jamaica for her birthday. The other one, which was an adjective, was cruel.
Oh.
So the story is about a cruel king who was terrible to his subjects. And in a cruel twist of fate, they died on the same day.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
All right, let's put a minute on the clock for you.
My turn.
Okay, your first one is a verb, one word. The workers bared the stones into place. I'm really annoyed today. Don't bear me.
Oh. Don't push?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next one is a verb, one word. We will bear at our destination in 2 hours. I felt bad about bearing late to the meeting.
Let's be arrive?
Okay. You're right. All right, your last one is a phrase. It's 4 words.
Ooh.
The witch promised to bear him as revenge. I bear you, and now you're mine.
Put a spell on? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, you got it.
Because that's from a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
I put a spell on.
You and now you're mine.
That's
Yeah.
That's the only way. After the first sentence, I had no idea.